We're taking a break from the body shaming to tell you. To tell you what the intervals
But
are.
to be clear, we're body shaming Brian.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not getting body shamed.
Yes, not Caroline. Yeah.
That's because
I'm also not body shaming anyone else. We are in Los Angeles, California, more specifically Glendale at Art's Bakery on Chevy Chase.
Yes.
This is a frequent meeting point for Alan and I while we're doing workouts.
Because I think it's halfway between the two of us.
Yeah.
And it's right at the base of the climbs. Or one of the climbs.
Sort of. Today we're going to be doing sort of like an extended over-under workout in the sort of like high threshold zones. So some longer climbing, just going hard, slightly less hard, hard, slightly less hard. And yeah, we'll be doing it in the Verdugos.
How do these workouts help you when it comes to racing?
I think these ones specifically are important because it's really rare, especially in road racing, that it's like completely steady. So especially if you're on a longer climb, generally the pace, like it has moments where it's accelerated and it feels really hard and it feels like you can't hold on, but eventually that subsides and you go back down to a little easier, and then it'll do that again and again and again. So practicing not only physically, like being able to make those small accelerations, but also mentally just like knowing that it's gonna end, I think is probably the most important part of this workout.
This is much like driving in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you know, climbing's important, so we're going to be doing all these efforts on climbing. So if anything, this is just a good hard.
Yeah, it's just hard. Like,
and it's a longer effort, 12 minutes. So it is in that kind of threshold range. You do a lot of racing, you miss a lot of the middle, I think. So getting some middle back is good. It's just good aerobic work. Because it is longer too, it helps us to think about, well, where do we start the effort? What's the route going to be? And there's like a lot of cool options to explore and put together. So it's good for the brain too.
if you're in the front and you have an easy way to like just even slightly increase your speed, like carrying speed through a corner or carrying speed into a hill, then you know that the people behind you like immediately are gonna have to work harder than people at the front.
Yeah, we spent
because they don't have the room to carry that speed. So it's like wherever you have room to carry the speed, you know you're gonna screw people behind you.
Right.
And that's
Like-
the big part of racecraft, and that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about race metrics, we're talking about racecraft. Racecraft creates race metrics, and I think the thing that people have gotten so wrong is that we are such a metric-based training culture now. X amount of time in zone, X amount of KJs, X amount of power output, but we forget that this has to then work within the game that is still like racing.
Yeah. Okay, you want to know how we're able to keep up with Caroline when she does those efforts? The answer is e-bikes. E-bikes with big batteries. And even that might not get me home.
We're doing 12-minute efforts today, basically in 4 different blocks of 3. So it's like 3 minutes at sort of a high tempo, and then a 3-minute acceleration, back down to 3 minutes at high tempo, and then one last 3-minute acceleration. So the accelerations are like pretty hard, but something you can hold for 3 minutes, so it's not like a sprint. And then usually by the last 2-3 minutes, like you're pretty gassed, so the high tempo feels quite a bit harder than the first time you do it, and then the last 3 minutes is like kind of everything you have.
Just empty the tank at that
yeah.
point. So you want to practice like coming around out of the draft kind of thing?
Let's do this last one as if there's a finish line.
Yeah.
We've done a mix of sort of like really steady climbs and then ones that are a bit more undulating, ones that end shallow, ones that end steep, like, because all those different terrains kind of either make you interact differently with the interval, as long as you're searching for the speed too, and not only just like grinding out the power.
Being the dog on the leash today, what I feel is that during those surges, if you do them right, there's a point where I lose all hope and will. And it's just that little bit of like mental loss of mental focus,
Yeah.
and your OTB really
Yeah,
fast.
for sure.
And that's what you're doing to other people.
Yeah,
But
and like the 3 minutes down isn't down enough to where it's easy for someone to come back to you.
that's right.
It keeps the pressure on.
Yeah, and so I got dropped in her first 3-minute acceleration on the last climb in the
Yeah.
last minute, and it took me 4 minutes of just like pure, like, just uncompromised perseverance to get back up.
So your goal is to crack people's will.
Yeah.
In particular, my will today. It's more than just the effort. The efforts were great. I think your power outputs were great. I think the time and zone, 6 by 4-ish minute efforts, that's really phenomenal top end work for the day.
For a race, you would want to make it hard enough around this sort of like mild incline slash flat part to where when you got to the base of the climb, you would only need a really slight increase of speed
Yeah.
to just
like a race
to
to the
have
whole
like
shot.
one person or two people lose the wheel and then everyone behind them is messed up.
But you weed out a lot of people, you put a lot of tension on people, you make it safer, and then if it does bunch up again, you have an opportunity to break the pack again.